Radio, 7:05. We've got a lovely day once it warms up a little bit. Probably pretty miserable for those of you trapped on 65 North between the Alabaster exit and all the way down to Calera, what I like to refer to as the Bartolonis exit.
It's ugly.
Yeah, it's a long, long, long wait for you. 7 miles of backup, my friends. And it's really just road construction. There's nothing more frustrating, by the way, because you're like, when you're sitting in there, boy, this better be good. When I get up there,
better be good. Or when you get up there and there's no accident.
Nothing. That's
Have you
what I'm
done
saying.
that? I'm like, there's nothing. I mean, like nothing. And all of a sudden, it just opens up.
You're like, what
happened
here?
there?
How did? Does no one know how to drive? Is this what's going on here?
Well, and to not to make things worse for you folks, but not only is there that construction, now there's an accident in that middle of that, right, in the middle of the traffic jam.
Which tends to happen because the people just stop and go and stop and go and stop and go, and some people don't stop. They go when they're supposed to be stopping, and some people stop when they're supposed to be going, and they end up running into each other, and now you've got an accident, and that's how that works.
It's ugly.
Sad but true. Gather a large group of people together and tell them that this piece of property is for sale to the highest bidder and see what happens. Now, that group of people has to be qualified buyers. They have to have cash in hand. They have to be ready to pay. You know, you don't want to deal with deadbeats. You don't want to deal with people who can't afford it. You don't want to deal with any sort of special circumstance, which happens sometimes when you're selling a piece of property. It's like, well, sorry, the financing fell through. That's the last thing you want. And when you deal with Granger Thaggart Auction Marketing, you can get a standing room only crowd of qualified buyers bidding against each other for your piece of property. You know what you just did? You just created a market. You created a market for your property. Rather than slapping a price on it and hoping there's a market for it, you created a market for it with Granger Thaggart Auction Marketing. And when that happens and you get the last dollar that you can get, you extract that highest market value. And now you know the date of sale, you know the date of closing, and the buyer's paying all the closing costs. There's just nothing not to like about this. That's why you've got to get in touch with Granger Thaggart Auction Marketing, gtauctions.com, to find out more, whether it's the old homestead, it's a piece of real estate, or a commercial building. Granger Thaggart Auction Marketing can help you. And even if you already have a listing agent, they're usually very happy to find out that there's another tool at their disposal to help sell that piece of property. Granger Thaggart Auction Marketing, gtauctions.com. Check them out and tell them I sent you. Let's get started on this, shall we? Australia has implemented a world-first ban on major social media platforms for children under the age of 16. It takes effect today. This prevents kids from creating or accessing accounts on sites like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube to protect them from online harm, cyberbullying, and or predators. Of course, the implementation and effectiveness is going to face challenges because of age verification and circumvention, and, there's always going to be people who try to figure their way out around these things, and there's going to be parents who are like, it's okay, Billy. You can use my account. So
I think it's great, and I wish that there were tighter controls, and again, parents do their due diligence to make sure that if they're under a certain age, they can't get to certain sites, but they get on the bus with a little buddy, or they have an older brother that says, hey, you need to go check this out, and then there's a way around it, and off you go. So, glad to see that, Australia's doing something to try to help parents in that way that, kids don't have access to some of those sites.
I agree. I think kids need to have their childhood back, and the World Wide Web. Now we're finding out that these AI chatbots are causing problems, that, kids are actually beginning to have conversations with them. They're treating them like friends. They're spending more time with their computers than they are with actual human beings. That's not good for society, kids.
It's not. Put the phone down.
Yeah.
Have a conversation.
Come on. Talk to another person. For the love of all that is holy. Talk to that guy in the windowless van with the candy. Just actually see what he has to say.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that. That's a bad
advice.
A small plane landed on a Florida freeway Monday night, striking at least one vehicle.
Have you seen the video of this
I
yet?
have.
It's incredible.
Fixed-wing Beechcraft 55 attempted to make an emergency landing on Interstate 95 in Merritt Island around 5:45 p.m. After reporting engine trouble, the Federal Aviation Administration said plane collided with a 2023 Toyota Camry. Pilot and passenger of the craft, a man from Orlando, another from Temple Terrace, both 27, were not injured.
That
but
thing went right down on the top of that vehicle.
Yikes.
Almost crushed it.
57-year-old woman driving the Camry was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Video footage posted online shows the plane attempted to land on the freeway as the Camry was traveling. This is why the United States Department of Transportation says there has to be 1 straight mile out of every 5 on the interstates for just this sort of instance, because there may need to be an emergency landing for a small aircraft. And now you see it, 95. It's hard to believe they couldn't miss the Camry, but maybe that was other traffic around. You know, the video does look like it's a pretty well-traveled road.
It does. It looks like, it's dark, but it's like still a little bit dusk. So it could have been like 5 o'clock traffic there on I-95. And I-95 is well-traveled. I mean, it's always busy no matter what time you're on it.
That is the farthest over interstate. That's the farthest east interstate in the United States of America. I've been on 1, and I've been on 95. I've been to both sides of this thing. I also used to live on 35, so I was right in the middle of the country for a while. Then we've all been on 65 and 85 enough times. 75 goes all the way down the other side of Florida, right? And all that stuff in the middle, out west, I'm missing that. I haven't been on any of it.
Well,
get on some.
You better get to living there, Richard. You got some more vacation time coming up next year.
Get busy living or get busy driving.
Right.
What?
Only you don't want a plane to land on you.
I would prefer not. Thank you very much. Although, the pickup truck bed is pretty big. Can probably handle it.
I'm just glad it was a small plane. Because I'm not sure that those folks in that car that plane landed on were lucky.
Any bigger than that, and it would have been a real problem. Hoover is claiming losses of $7 to $10 million annually and is joining the simplified seller's use tax lawsuit against the state of Alabama. Huntsville is in this. I think Tuscaloosa is in this. Mountain Brook is in this. Montgomery is in this. Mobile is one of the latest to join in on this. They're all like, hey, you get this sales tax revenue from online sales, and then you arbitrarily distribute it. First off, the state keeps 50% of it for themselves.
Right, it's coming from these cities.
Yeah.
And these cities are like, why isn't it coming back to the city where it came from?
The remaining 50% is allocated to local governments, cities and counties, and the state sort of decides how that's going to get used and who's going to get what. And they're like, certainly, with all of today's technology, you can tell how much of it came from Hoover. You should give that back to Hoover. You can tell how much came from Montgomery. You should give that to Montgomery. How much came from, Montgomery, Trussville or whatever. And so, there's a whole bunch that are suing the state. Look, there was a time when they didn't even charge this. At the end of the year, they'd say, did you have any online purchases that you didn't pay taxes on?
No.
Online, what are those?
No. Nick Durzis, who's the new mayor of Hoover, is saying somewhere between $7 and $10 million annually. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot.
And again, I know that there are smaller cities across the state that might need some of that money, but I would say the majority of it probably needs to go back to Hoover. It's coming from Hoover residents that are generating the money.
Could buy Nick Durzis a new suit.
Oh, he doesn't need any more. He's a well-dressed mayor, isn't he? We learned that through the baby on the interstate 459 incident. I was like, wow, Nick, you've really turned up your dress there. Over the years, it's wow, where are you going to get these clothes? He's a sharp dresser.
I feel like he reached the age where it was what we call the give a damn age, where you're just like, I don't anymore. I'll wear what I please, and you can like it or not. Cam Newton got there way earlier than
Well,
we did.
now I would put Cam in a whole different category. I mean, Nick Durzis is a nice dresser.
Yeah.
Cam, he's just Cam. Just like that. I don't. Again, where do you go to get shop for those clothes? I don't know.
I believe
from the hat to the pants to the shoes.
Liberace's wardrobe.
I don't know,
it could
but
be he's going there.
It's wild.
Yeah, he's
his own man.
Somebody's got to fill in for him.
He's his own something.
Okay, Steve.
Mr. Bugs is ready to kill what bugs you. They'll show up and take those bugs out. I recommend these guys to people on such a regular basis, people will contact me and say, "Are they really as good as you say?" I said, "Man, I've been with them for 8 years now. Have not had a single problem, not in my house, not outside of my house. Once I got 3 years ago the mosquito reduction, it was the best decision I ever made. Don't know why I waited as long as I did. They handle my termite bonding as well. I love them to death because they do such a good job. They're statewide, and if you have, them working on your house in the Birmingham metro area, but you don't have them working on your lake house at Lake Martin or Lake Logan Martin or Lay Lake or whatever, why not? Get them to Smith Lake. They've got guys who can work up there and girls who can work up there as well. If you don't have them working on your beach house down in Gulf Shores, you should because they're active down there as well. Mr. Bugs, MRBUGGS, MrBugs.com or 844-MRBUGGS statewide. They're my choice for pest control. They should be yours. Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, Talk 99.5.com. There are few things I hate more than wasting time. A waste of my time is infuriating. I don't know why, but and I feel sorry for the people that are trapped on 65 right now
Uh,
because it's an hour plus delay.
Yeah, they said,
what
Phil
they're
just
saying.
said 57 minutes. Oh, now it just popped up that there are two.
Oh boy.
There's two accidents in between Alabaster and Calera. There was none before. It was just a construction issue around Alabaster. Now you got the construction issue and two wrecks. Y'all avoid 65 northbound down there in Shelby County. It's a mess.
And if you're there
Ooh.
and you just had, for breakfast, you consumed 2 cups of coffee and a bran muffin, I just want to say I'm very sorry.
Let's hope they didn't do that.
You are struggling right
Let's
now.
hope, yeah, if you've got that beverage in the car right now, don't drink
cow.
anymore. You're gonna,
Woo!
and hopefully you have a full tank of
Come
gas.
on. Yeah.
You ever do that? You're on the interstate and you're like, oh, I've got a quarter of a tank, I'm fine.
I'll be fine, yeah.
And then, oh gosh, here comes that accident. You're like, oh.
I learned to be more careful about that when I was driving 75 miles one way every day to get down to Prattville. I was working here. 75 miles exactly door to door is amazing. And, I started to be real cognizant of how much gas I had in my tank because I didn't ever want to run out on the way between here and there. I got 1 ticket the whole time. It was for speeding on a road 3 blocks from my house. And the other, and I never
So
got another
close,
ticket.
Richard.
Never had an accident of any kind. It was very impressive.
That's pretty good.
Very impressive that I
is
managed to do that
impressive.
for 5 long years.
Yeah.
But I also, picking up and starting to read a book that you get 150 pages into and you go, I can't do this anymore. I'm putting this down.
Is there anything worse?
Yeah.
Watching a movie, the same thing.
I started watching a movie last night that I didn't watch it last year because I couldn't squeeze it in before Christmas. And I'm like, it's a Christmas movie. I got, and I'm not going to watch it after Christmas. It's called Carry On. Taron Egerton, Jason Bateman, a couple of other people that you'd recognize in it. And it's a thriller. And I made it halfway through, and I just went like, I can't watch these people make stupid decisions any longer. I'm just, when you're watching a movie and you have to suspend disbelief to the point where you're like, but he's not that stupid. He can't be that stupid. Nobody's that stupid.
And most people would say, Richard, just follow them. If you just ignore it. And it's hard to ignore it.
I just turned it off. I was just like, I cannot believe I just wasted an hour of my time.
It makes me so mad.
I wish I had
think
not
that's
done
an
that.
age thing.
Yeah.
It didn't used to be like, okay, whatever. Now it's like, you've wasted an hour of my time.
Well, I mean,
I'll never get that back.
It was between an old comfort Christmas movie like a White Christmas or Christmas Chronicles or something like that, or something new and different that I hadn't seen. So I was like, oh, yeah, I wanted to watch this last year. I'll watch this. And an hour into it, I'm just like, nope. We're done. Can't do this anymore. This is just painful. It's painful to watch. No human being would act that way.
No.
It's stupid. Speaking of stupid, members of the Moody High School football team received appropriate disciplinary action after being seen in viral photos smoking cigars in the Protective Stadium locker room after winning the Class 5A state championship in Birmingham on Thursday. St. Clair County Superintendent Rusty St. John confirmed that action had been taken following the post-game celebration. Blue Devils won their first state football championship. Remember, they lost last year. They beat Viger 25-zip.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They were out for revenge.
Yeah, they were. In a now-deleted post on the Moody Football X page, read sorry about the locker room celebration, send the bill to the city of Moody. I hope what they got was a slap on the hand. These kids, they worked hard. They came within spitting distance of the championship last year. They finally got it this year. Look, you and I, when we went to high school, there were smoking areas at the high school, right?
Yeah. They had smoking spaces.
It was
Absolutely, they did.
Understood that there were going to be kids who, and by the way, nobody checked to see if anyone was 18.
No.
I mean, there were 15-year-olds smoking. I know because I was one of them. No, I wasn't. I didn't start smoking until much later. But yeah, so all right, give them a slap on the hand. You have to give them some kind of no. You shouldn't do that. No, that's bad.
When they're saying send the bill, did they do some damage at Protective Stadium other than some smoke?
I'm guessing it was
Some
smoke
cigar
damage.
smoke?
Probably is what it is.
And it's like,
yeah.
really? I mean, can you not clear that out? It's not that big a deal. Now, maybe some parents are saying, yeah, I don't really approve of my underage son smoking a cigar.
Well-
but again, I think most of them were just doing it in fun and in a celebratory way.
Right.
Kind of like Bama does after a win over Tennessee. It's like, you break out the cigars. I really, how much harm did this do? I mean, they're young men. They just won a huge game.
Yeah.
I get you, protective stadium. Maybe you don't want cigar smoke there.
Let it go.
But was there really was anybody
go.
damaged by this?
No. Well, maybe the kids were.
Yeah, they threw up after inhaling the cigar.
The big cigar when I was a kid, Swisher Sweets.
Oh yeah,
Remember the
those
Swisher
those were
Sweets?
huge.
Oh, yeah.
Those made a comeback too when
Did they?
cigar. Remember
yeah,
when
they're still
cigar?
around.
Yeah, when cigar smoke. All the humidor places
In the
and
90s became all the
shops.
rage. Yeah.
It-
I smoked a Swisher Sweet from end to end one night, and I think it was New Year's Eve one year. I was like, I don't understand why people are talking about getting sick on these things. I don't know.
3,
Smoked
2,
another one.
1.
I smoked another one from end to end. I was like, this is crazy.
And you inhaled it?
No, I didn't
Oh,
inhale.
okay.
No, you don't.
No, you don't do
inhale
that with
No,
a
I
cigar.
was just, but when you're a kid,
You're stupid
A lot
and
of
you
them
think
don't
that's
know
right.
that, and they're like, "Well, let me just inhale."
I got halfway through the third one before I ended up in the yard just hurling.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, this is what they're talking about. Oh, okay. And I wasn't drunk. It wasn't alcohol. That was 100% the cigar smoke that put me over the edge.
There's some people that swear by them still. I mean, every once in a while, I'll, get in a line somewhere, like paying for gas or something like that.
Somebody's
There'll be a person
got
in
'em.
front of me like, let me get 4 of those Swisher Sweets and like the cherry flavor. And I'm like, really? Knock yourself out, I guess.
Ugh. Yikes.
I don't
can
mind
still taste it.
when somebody lights one of those up, the very first, I don't know, 30 seconds of it
Yeah.
doesn't smell bad,
Yeah.
and then I'm out, and the cigar is out. I just cannot. Oh.
Pipe
But
smoke. I
I
can
love
do
the
pipe
smell.
smoke,
Yeah,
yeah.
if somebody, I had a friend of mine growing up whose father smoked a pipe.
My dad.
Oh, that smelled so. The tobacco, all of it was just.
There's,
a
I think,
nice
really,
smell.
there's really only three burning things that I can stand, and one of them is pipe smoke. One of them is a campfire because I did a lot of camping. It really just takes me right back. And the third one would be, of course, burning hair.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
You don't
what?
like the smell of burning hair?
Richard?
Are you kidding?
You know why?
Oh, it's the best.
So what do you have in your
That
basement?
is awful.
All right,
Burning
maybe
hair.
not. Maybe not burning hair.
No,
Maybe
would
that's
be
not what-
awful.
Yeah. Ooh.
no problem here.
No, thank you.
Uh-uh.
Anyway, hey, leave these poor moody kids alone. They're going to be fine. You just said it, by the way. If their parents have a problem with them smoking a
Then
cigar,
they can deal
then
with
let
their
their
kid.
parents
Yeah.
deal with it.
But I don't.
this,
It doesn't
know,
seem that that's the situation. It's a problem with protective and maybe the smoke, and maybe we find a different way to celebrate. I don't know what that is. Maybe coaches, I don't. But again, what's the harm here? I just don't get that.
Be a little bit of a bad boy.
Eh.
I used to tell my daughter before she'd go to camp every
Be a bad girl at
every year,
camp?
I would say, I expect you to
Did
break
you?
at least one rule. Because if you're not,
Boy,
you're doing
you're
it
setting the
wrong.
bar low.
If you're not, you're
Listen,
doing it wrong.
She'll figure that out on her own. You don't need to tell
She-
her here.
She largely did. But you just said it about Aiden the other day. You said he came back for Thanksgiving. First thing he did, boom, out the door.
Oh, he couldn't
off
wait.
to see his
yeah.
friends.
I mean,
and you were like,
but then you know what I said, and this is amongst us in the room. I was like, I did the exact same thing when I was a kid.
Exactly.
I love my mom and dad and my family, and was going to spend time with them. But I hadn't seen friends, and so it was everybody's like, "Oh, you're home. Let's all get together." And
Yeah.
you'd run over to whoever's house it was and see all your buds.
exactly.
So I was like, yeah,
So,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was the same
We'll
way.
see you for an hour over the week, and then you'll head back to college.
I look at these kids smoking cigars, and I'm like, yeah, I would have done that if I'd been on a championship football team
It's
or
all
any
good.
football team. I was always,
According to one of our texters, only 9 out of the 100 kids. I'd probably been one of the 9 too.
yeah. You and I, Steve, we'd both be in trouble together. We'd be grounded. Anthony and Company Jewelers,
My
2080.
dad probably would have laughed it off, truth be told.
Yeah, my parents too, probably. 2080 Valleydale Road next to Ragtime Cafe. If you're looking for a specific piece of jewelry that is going to be different, unique, something that you don't find at the chain jewelry stores, well, this is the right place to look. Their buyers really shop around. They've been at this for, better than 50 years, and the first 25 of it, they were on the wholesale side. So they really know what they're looking for, and they know how to keep the prices low, which they do. Their prices are so low they can't afford to have a sale. If you're shopping anywhere other than Anthony and Company Jewelers for Christmas presents for your beloved, you're making a big mistake, and you're spending too much money. It's just that simple. AnthonyCoJewelers.com online. Don't forget high-end watches and fabulous male jewelry as well, if that's something you're interested in. They got it at Anthony and Company Jewelers. 2080 Valleydale Road, next to Ragtime Cafe. Coming up, we celebrate the 60th anniversary of an icon. Oh, man.
And this Christmas.
That's the gold standard right there. Donny Hathaway. This Christmas. It's been covered by a lot of people, but it's tough to beat the original here. I'd like to put in a request for...
Wham.
No.
Listen, we've been whammed. Why can't we do it to everyone else?
Yeah, because it's mean.
Huh? Oh,
it's
it is
mean.
Okay. Well, yeah, AJ did it.
I know.
Was it mean when he did it?
Yes, he's a mean person.
Yeah.
You are not.
You know what? He's
nor
going to
am
get
I.
coal for Christmas.
That's right.
Coal in your stocking, AJ.
I'm going to make sure of it. By golly. I'd like to put in a request actually for either or both of Stevie Wonder's Christmas songs, sometime between now and Christmas. Stevie Wonder did 2 of them.
Which
amazing.
ones?
You'd recognize him if you heard him.
Okay.
Yeah. Someday at Christmas is the first one. That's a really big one. And then the other one is a little jumpin' tune. It was used during in a retro Coca-Cola commercial several years ago that I was like, oh, the fashion. I used to wear that. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Don't admit that, Richard. You're not supposed to.
736 Dixon Dividing Talk 99.5 Talk and 99.5.com. Speaking of classics, last night, instead of watching that half of stupid Carry On, I wish I hadn't watched, I should have sat down and watched A Charlie Brown Christmas on the 60th anniversary of its initial airing.
Oh, that was last night, technically?
That was last night.
See,
I should have watched that, too.
I'm
I
over
didn't
there
realize it.
watching Trump, and I could have been watching this.
You could have been watching Charlie Brown. Well, I think you have to have Apple TV because
yeah.
maybe
It would
they
help.
were making it. They might have been making it free last night. I'm not sure they do that sometimes. You know, the way the whole thing started was that Coca-Cola had seen a little bit of a documentary that someone was putting together on Charles Schultz, and a guy named Bill Melendez, I believe, had done a little bit of animated about 25 seconds of the Peanuts characters. And somebody at Coke said, this would be we should do this for the Christmas special. And this was in July, of course. And so they they contacted Bill Mendelsohn and said, this is the guy who actually made the documentary, and Melendez was the guy who did the animation. It was very confusing anyway. And they contacted Mendelsohn and they said, listen, we have X amount of money. We would like to do a half-hour Peanuts Christmas special sponsored by Coca-Cola. And Mendelsohn said, you're on. And then he called Charles Schultz and said, Coca-Cola just bought a Charlie Brown Christmas. And Schultz said, what's a Charlie Brown Christmas? He said, it's something we're going to write tomorrow.
Yeah. Chop, chop.
Yeah. And they did. They sat down and wrote a concept around the kids trying to put on a play. And there's a I can't remember. I want to say it's Finnish. It's from the Netherlands, a story about the littlest Christmas tree. And so they tried to fit that in there, you know, the Charlie Brown tree. I have 2 of them in my home. That's
Charlie
how
Brown
iconic
trees?
this is.
Yeah.
I have 2 Charlie Brown
And
trees
you missed it?
in my house.
What were you thinking last night?
You know what? I can watch it any time. I have
guess
Apple
so.
Plus TV. I paid
But
the.
last night was extra special.
What this says is I have $9.99 that's not doing anything. That's
Other than
right.
You could watch Charlie Brown Christmas.
I have that kind of money, my friend. So, yeah, they did something completely different. Number one, no laugh track. Charles Schultz was absolutely like, we don't need to tell people when to laugh and when not to laugh. They're not stupid. We're not putting a laugh track on
And
it.
I'm sure that was unusual.
Absolutely.
When they made that decision.
Had really never been done before.
Right.
Number two, they said, we're going to use actual kids for the voices of the kids. The Peanuts kids had been animated in other things before, Ford commercial, a couple of other things, but they'd never spoken before. And so he said, I want actual kids' voices. And in some cases, they got actors. Peter Robbins, the guy who played Charlie Brown, he was an actor. I interviewed him several years ago. He was working at a friend's Christmas tree lot. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. He's no longer with us, by the way.
Wow.
And then some of them were just like neighborhood kids from Bill Melendez's neighborhood and Bill Mendelsohn's neighborhood. And they just brought them in, and they would feed them their lines. Like when they were talking to Sally, they'd be like, here's the next 5 words, and then she would repeat them into the microphone, and they'd give her the next. That's why it was sort of halting,
Yes.
a little stilted,
Yes.
you know. And
And when you go back now and watch the movie,
yeah,
listen for that.
oh yeah,
Because you can hear it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Absolutely. There's a great line in there. Melendez would tell the kids how he wanted the lines said. So he told Peter Robbins, he's like, when you come back with the tree, say, we're back. And it's this, it's almost Hispanic if you listen closely enough. Peter Robbins says it exactly the way Melendez told him to. It's pretty funny. Anyway, Then they also said because Mendelssohn had heard a little bit of Vince Guaraldi on the radio earlier in the day, and he said, this is the kind of music that would be, and he played it for Charles Schultz, and Schultz was like, yes, this is exactly what we're looking for. Well, up until that time, comics had Carl Stallings. I mean, think about Warner Brothers movies.
Right.
Yeah, well, any sort of Warner Brothers cartoon, they had the great music of Carl Stallings behind
This
him.
is dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Nobody had ever done anything with jazz like this before. And if you look at the backgrounds of it, it kind of looks like sponge paintings in some cases. They really did a complete different look and feel. And also, if you just look at it with fresh eyes, you'll see that this thing really drags. It is 30 minutes long, and there's long periods with no talking.
Pauses, yes.
It's just, and so when they played it for the Coca-Cola people, they were like, oh my God, what did we buy? What have we done? Okay.
They bought a classic is
Yeah.
what they bought. They
They
just
said-
didn't know it at the time.
So we're going to air it one time. Oh, it was Hans Christian Andersen was the guy who did the Fur Tree. Okay.
December 9th, 1965.
Yeah.
Where were you?
So they went ahead and aired it, and chances are good that I, at the age of 2, was in front of the TV with the rest of my family, because I guarantee we were big Peanuts fans, and I'm sure the Dixon family was watching A Charlie Brown Christmas. And I think most of America was. In fact, half of the TV sets in the country at that time were watching that
Wow.
show.
Well, again, 1965. You only had a couple channels.
Exactly.
You were just trying to find something that the whole family could see together.
Not a lot of choices.
No.
By the way, that music that Coca-Cola hated and the producers really fought against is now one of the biggest selling Christmas albums of all time, Vince Guaraldi's A Charlie Brown Christmas. Also, another thing that they fought tooth and nail that they really didn't want in there at all was Linus's whole speech from Luke 2.
Yeah. And I'm glad they fought that
Yeah.
and that he was able to do that. Because that's an important part of A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Absolutely.
You have to have that in there.
To have.
And one of the few times that you ever see Linus not looking like he's going through detoxification when he doesn't have his blanket in his hand.
That's right. He drops his blanket at one point during the soliloquy, and they were just like, "Really, you want to put like a Bible passage, a lengthy
You're
Bible
doing a
passage
Christmas movie?
in a kids' Christmas special?" And Charles Schultz, who was the most non-confrontational person on the planet, he's so Midwestern. We people in the Midwest, we don't actually argue. We don't actually have a word for no. We signify no by nodding our heads and saying, "We'll get back to you."
That's how he handled it.
That's he said at one point. He said, "If we don't put this section in, I don't see the point to doing this." And everyone was like, "Oh, I guess we better put it in because the guy whose characters we're using, he's going to quit if we don't do this." So they put it in. And again, 60 years later, we're talking about it right now. 60 years later, that's how iconic this thing is, and generations have grown up on it. My daughter, I guarantee my daughter probably has watched it thus far this year. We got it on DVD. She stole that from me.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
you need to get that back.
No, she didn't.
No?
Anyway, in 1966, A Charlie Brown Christmas won both an Emmy for Outstanding Children's Program and a Peabody Award. So there.
And it almost seems like it's not Christmas. I want to see Charlie Brown Christmas and It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
That's always on my list. And then something fun, like a Home Alone or
Oh, yeah.
Last year it was Violent Night. There's 3 or 4. It's like, I need to see these.
Got to see them.
Yeah.
E was running It's a Wonderful Life on a loop Thanksgiving weekend. And so anytime you tuned in,
It was there. Huh?
you could see it. And so I didn't watch the whole thing in order, but I watched the whole thing over the course of a day. I'd flip over there between football games and whatnot. And the whole weekend they ran it. It was nonstop. I was like, thank you, Entertainment TV. For the first time, you weren't lying with your name. I was actually entertained.
That's good.
7:45 with Dixon Inviting. Your thoughts are welcome. 545-9950. If you got something to say, bring it, baby. This is perfect for the Christmas season. Boz
Oh,
Skaggs
yeah.
always sings like he just drank a big cup of eggnog. Yeah, that,
Kind of like that Dean Martin feel. You're on the stage with a glass of bourbon and a cigarette in the other end.
you got a little meniscus in the back of your throat. You sound like this. Yeah, dirty lowdown. I got the dirty lowdown.
Yeah, but the difference is he can do that and actually still sound to the point where we can understand the words he's saying.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan can't do that sober.
No.
No.
What are you trying to say? Did you get the Bob Dylan Christmas album years ago?
I'm afraid to ask.
Yeah. No, there was. He actually came out with a Christmas album.
He did not.
He did, yeah.
Seriously?
Absolutely. Silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city.
Listen, I didn't like him normally.
Yeah.
I'm sure not going to buy his Christmas album.
Okay.
Seriously?
All
All the songs will sound the same, Richard.
I don't know why you hate Jesus, but okay.
It's not Jesus, it's Bob Dylan.
Oh, I see.
Let's make sure we clarify that. Oh.
750 Dixon Divining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com.
All right, give the gift of foundation repair or waterproofing. Yes, this is really serious, folks. If you're dealing with those issues at your home and you're just not sure who to turn to, well, let me tell you what. Go to the website, bedryalabama.com, and you'll understand why this is such a great company here in Central Alabama, helping people with these issues. When we talk about waterproofing, sometimes you're not sure there's an issue, and what comes to mind is that musty smell in the basement. That's usually your first clue that you've got a water issue. And it may not be that water's pouring into the basement or pouring into the crawl space, but it's somehow seeping in there just a little bit, enough to make a difference in the air quality in your home. And you don't need to be breathing any of that. That's why B-Dry comes along. They take a look at what's going on. Maybe it's in the crawl space. Maybe it's in the basement. They'll seal up those areas, and then you'll see the air quality will change. Cracking in the foundation, folks, that's a serious problem with your home, and B-Dry can fix that as well. If there's water in those areas, that can begin to show up in areas like the foundation of your home. So get it fixed today with a company in business 6 decades. David Feven and the guys will come out. They're happy to give you a free quote. You tell them what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, and then let them take a look at what's going on and fix that, to repair it. Call the pros at B-Dry today, 205-942-1976, or go to bedryalabama.com.
Shane drops us a line. Oh, guess what are we listening to here? Hold on a second.
This is Bob.
The Bob Dylan Christmas album, yeah.
Oh, God. Wow.
In the air, there's a
It's worse than I thought.
of Christmas.
It's worse than that.
That's
That is
enough. I can't take
terrible.
anymore.
I'm so mad at the person that ever, and I know some of you are Bob Dylan fans. You know my feeling for Bob Dylan. Whoever told this man he could sing. I know he can write, but whoever told him he could sing,
We want to find that guy.
where is that person? It's like Yoko Ono. Who told her she could sing? Oh, her husband did.
Yeah.
Oh,
John
Yoko, your
Lennon.
voice is beautiful.
Yeah, that's why they killed him.
No, it's not.
2 days after the anniversary of his death here, I'm making jokes. I should be ashamed of myself.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Shane drops this line, says, how about leave online commerce the F alone? What claim does any government agency have to touch any of that money? Well, it's the same as if I just go to a store and buy something. Well, why does the government get to take a piece of that? Huh?
We're constantly handing it over.
Exactly.
Richard, here.
First they're taxing that item, and then they're taxing the business that sold me that item on the profits that they made by selling me that item. It sounds a little like double taxation, doesn't it?
Sure does.
I'm already getting taxed just for making money, which strikes me as
Thanks for finding
bizarre.
that song, Steve. Our point made.
Thomas says, I feel their pain talking about the folks that are down on 65 right now. Took me over an hour to get through Chattanooga to get home Sunday afternoon. Yeah, 24 coming out of Chattanooga is...
It's just a nightmare.
It's where your time goes to die. Mike says, what did you do with those Swishers? I actually smoked them.
Yeah.
But
well, apparently a lot of people do different things with them.
they hollow them out and they fill them with marijuana and
blunt.
call them a blunt.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm no thank you. I put that down a long long time ago. Rhonda says, I put down cigarettes long, long ago, but I can't give in to a small cigar. I'm immediately hooked, and I would inhale, I promise. It's in my DNA, so I avoid. Yeah, I have a very addictive personality, which is why I will never pick up another cigar. I did smoke cigars for quite some time. Guess what? Led me straight back to cigarettes. And I finally
That's
quit.
not good.
I quit those in 2007, and I'm like, no smoking of anything anymore. That's it for you, Richard. The minute you start smoking something, it leads back to cigarettes. So we're not doing that. Jerry says, my parents didn't discipline me for doing wrong. They disciplined me for getting caught. Sounds like they taught you well. Robert says, the Stevie Wonder song, a great one, is I Didn't See Mommy Kissing Santa Claus.
Robert.
Come on.
Oh.
Lynn wants to hear Christmas in Dixie by Alabama. You'll only hear the first minute of it. That's how talk radio works.
The first 30 seconds of it.
Brandy says, I'll never forgive AJ for that stunt he pulled. It was diabolical. Yes, he's like a Batman villain.
In case y'all did not hear, Whamageddon, everyone got whammed at the Christmas party Friday night because AJ was DJ the AJ, and it was funny in the room because everybody was busy talking and sipping a brew or something and having these, and it was just in the background.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't even realize what had just happened
Many
to
people
them.
may still think they're still in.
You're not.
You're wrong. Hey, Valerie, Trump, Charlie Brown, what's the difference? LOL, love you guys. Merry Christmas to everyone at the station. Thank you, Eric. What's the difference between Trump and Charlie Brown? Charlie Brown is not nearly as hyperbolic.
Yeah. Bombastic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's the Jeff joke of the day. You ready?
Let's go.
What does Santa use to clean his sleigh? Sanitizer.
Yeah, that one almost doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work at all now that I think
Santa.
Santa.
Maybe we should have done that instead of
Maybe
Santa.
he should have had. Maybe he had
Sanitizer.
spell check on there.
I don't know. It just barely missed the mark. We get your point though, Jeff. Not bad. I know Christmas jokes are hard to come up with.
Hank says, Richard, in 1965, my brothers and I saw it sitting on the floor in front of a 25-inch black and white TV. Great memories.
That is.
Hank. Well, you had a 25-inch black and white TV in 1965. You guys were rich. Even in the 70s, we still had a black and white 19-inch TV. 19-inch TV.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, I'm not replacing it. It's not broken. And color's a fad, and we're not doing that.
In 1965, parents in that genre that if you told them today, you could run down to a local store and buy a TV in a box that's like 85, 100 inches. And the price of that today, it's just amazing where we have come.
Sure.
And they're throwaway TVs. It's like, oh, yeah, if something happens to it, you don't call the repairman anymore.
No.
You just throw it out.
Yeah, the repair person will tell you, it will cost me more to crack this open than it will than it's worth. Just go buy another $384
Technology's
85-inch
amazing.
TV.
Yep.
It really is. And you don't think about that in terms of getting at stuff or communication or whatever. People always think, well, that's going to be, how expensive is this going to be in 20 years? Could be almost free by then, look at the price of cable and the way it's come down. There was a time when you were paying $150 a month to get 30 channels or something. Now you can access 550 channels for $60 a month, and there's still nothing on. That's the really amazing thing. Still nothing on. Kim says, thank you for making that noise stop. It was awful.
Happy to be of service.
Keep it on standby, though, in case we need to punish people.
Yeah.
We need to punish
Maybe that's
somebody to break that
maybe
thing
put it
out.
on a hotkey.
Yeah.
When
you're ready to
somebody's
break out a
really,
little.
done or said something, they get that instead of whammed.
This is a good one. Producer question, says Ashley. What was the country Christmas song y'all played between 6:10 and 6:30? It was about a 5-year-old boy. One lyric was, how's Santa get in the house? Well, he's got the chimney. It was Clint Black. The song is called Milk and Cookies.
Great tune.
Pretty good little one.
Thanks for listening, Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the way you do it. You hear something, you're not sure what it is, just send us a text real quick.
Don't wait 3 weeks.
If you wait 3 weeks, well, it's almost impossible to figure out what the song was.
Somebody did that. Somebody actually,
Yeah.
on November the 12th.
Something must have,
what are you doing?
they heard it, and then
Yeah.
something else happened. It rattled their brain going, what was that song? I need that song or whatever. Now there's no way to do it's just almost impossible. Steve tried, though. He went back to the podcast to see if it was there. No luck.
Portland's ice exhibit this year is all Charlie Brown. The sculpture work is astonishing, and it's so touching. You'd think that they'd be picking up illegal immigrants up there. I thought that's what ICE was doing. What? Talking actual ICE?
Yeah, actual ice.
Oh, okay.
Rhonda says to Jeff, thanks, I liked your joke.
Well, you'd be the one.
Man, that was brutal.
This
Well, it
is
just
good.
didn't come across right.
Taylor
Sorry.
Taylor says, I thought Santa would use Comet to clean his sleigh.
All right,
There
Taylor.
you go.
Taylor.
You
That's
just
where
nailed
it is.
it, Taylor.
Boom. All
Ooh,
right.
yeah, you're right. Jeff's joke was bad.
I'm sorry,
After hearing that.
Jeff, we're going to put you on hiatus.
Yeah,
Taylor-
Taylor's taken over.
Taylor is the new Jeff. Back in a moment.